Good afternoon. Thank you to have me. My name is Herminio Torres. This is my handler. You can find me on social media, social network, and feel free to reach me out. So I'm a software engineer at SimpleBat. And this is the agenda I bring for today. I will passing through for foundation, single source of truth, how we update live components, signals, and context, and scope CSS. So this is the only disclaimer I have. For the last two topics, I've been using Surface, but it's not unique for Surface. You can build out with LiveView, but I've been using Surface. So about the foundation. Here, the first point, it's loading twice on mount, and here's the demo. So as you can see, I have this table, and I use the message on top to print when the socket is not connected, and after they connect, it's still the same. It's the same table, the same data. And this is not good because you are loading twice before the socket is not connected and after when the socket is connected. So you need to doing some actions to prevent that. Here, the code, as you can see, I have the mount, I have the assign, where I assign when the socket is connected or not, and I load in some uses for the database. And this is not good because if this is a huge, expensive computation, it will take twice of the time because I'm loading before the socket because of the entire life cycle. And after the socket is connected, it will load in the same resource again. Here, it's a better improvement, but it's not the final results. And here, as you can see, I have like a placeholder. I could use a different thing, but I just put in like a text, a message to explain to the users. I'm just waiting to load in the users. After I have the access for that resource, I can assign in the socket. So I keep using the mount, but I use this function to see when the socket is connected or not. So here I have the strategy to avoid when the socket is not connected yet to not put in too much in, increase the payload in the socket. One quick thing about that, it's if your resource take too long to holding the process for the live view, this is what's gonna happen. The live view, it kill the process, and you try connect over and over and over and over. This is you should take care of. Even you using the mount for doing this strategy for two phases, only to load the resource after the socket is connect. This is pretty scary thing because when the process is killed, it's not showing anything in the terminal. So it will not print any message. The error in terms of the socket, it's die. Here this is something new. Chris McCord talking about this in LXConf US last month, and here's the demo. I just using the same strategy and waiting until I have the resource where I can replace the placeholder when it's loading the resource, and after I update the place for the results. And as you can see here is the map for async results. here's the code. So you don't need to thinking in splits and remember to see if the socket is connected using the two phases here. This is always run when the sockets connect. So you load in your resource async. Here I name for this atom for users, so you can have like a list of atoms, and with this you just have like a functions for each key you put in your list for atoms. And this is the same example, but right now instead of loading the users, I just put in like to failing to showing it's failed when try to load the users. And for this one, I use a little bit different. So I assign it will compute asynchronous, and I just kick off using the load for async result, and after that I call this async task, and you just need to implement this to handle async. The first one, it's when it's success, and I get the result is okay, and I put in the users there, and the second one, when it's the task it's failing, and I just print the failing results. And here, as you can see, is the function component for async results. So you have the assign for the users, and here you have the space for the slot for the loading phase, and after if it's failing, you have the slot for failing. Otherwise, it will call for success for loading the table for the users. And also, this is really good, and sometimes it's good to take advantage for take it out to see the debug, enable the debug for seeing in the console, and you have for testing for latency for the wire, where you can doing some exercise in this part, because sometimes we working locally with a small portion for data in our database. It's totally different for if you're thinking in production environments. Much more complicated. We have more layers on the cloud, so it's good always to trace with increase the latency. And the last one is the profiling to see if you're not updating too many diamond parts. For you can try to figure out which is consuming and updating the dynamic parts, and increase the payload. For you can reduce and try to find out how to get some improvements on that. This is the second topic. So about the single source of truth, it's important to avoid update the data when you are not the owner. So basically, if you declare some data in your LiveView, you not should use any other parts for your components to update that data in the socket. And this is important because you can create some inconsistency for your data, and if you have more components to depend on that data, it will create more inconsistency for your data in many places for your application. And you always should send a request, a message, internal message for the owner for ask him to update that information to perform some update. And here's a demo example. So I have the live view here with the count. It starts with 0, and I'm passing this data through for the other two components. I have this first component here, which plus by 1, and the second one is plus by 2. And as you can see, it's increased just only the components, and also here. And if I increase with plus 2, it will update the live view count, and it will update this one. So which one is the source of truth right now, right? And here's so here's the code I send to the LiveView to update that resource. But last part for the event, I just assign a new value here. But this is not one possible to corrupt and generate this inconsistency for the data. You could just receive some data coming from outside your component. And if you assign the socket, not send to the LiveView to update that information in the LiveView and sync other components depends on that data. But other component using the same data you are using the inside of this component and update, it will corrupt the information for all your application. And here's the demo. The +1 is work as well and updates all keep syncing all of them, and +2 also doing the same thing. And here's the code. So instead of assigning the socket, I just send to the father, the parent, who has the ownership for that data for his updates, where my component can pull again the new changes. The third topic is about async updates for the live components. So using send updates to update live components, this is useful for updating our components who is manage his own state. And it's important to keep it inside your components to manage his own state, to avoid it to leaking some details outside your components. It's very problematic. And any change in the shape of that data, that state, it might be break your code. So imagining here's a demo, as I can show you. So this is a button. When I click, I can open this model. And when I try to close, it's not possible. I try to send update to close this model, but it's not closing. And look, seeing the code here, I have the sent updates in this event, and I pass the ID and use the show where my components is waiting the show data is a boolean, so true or false. And for closing, I keep it inside of the component, but instead I just force to receiving a false, but inside of a string. So this is why I break my component, and this is why it's not closing. And also, this is a send update. It's always update your components. No matter what you call, it will update outside. And even inside of your component, you can tweak this. So it's important to keep in mind for the update function, you need to take care of if you have different strategy to reduce also the data you are rely on. And for this demo here, I just keep the information inside my component and create some public APIs to use it. As you can see here, the open close model is to work. It's working right now, and this is why I call my components and ask to open the model and pass the ID for my live component, and it's helped to improve the readability also and the intentions. And here's the part of the code. I create a public API to prevent leaking some internal data and to avoid change the shape of the data my components waiting to receive. Next, it's about context. This is a very common issue for many front-end frameworks. It's this issue about the prop drilling. So basically, what this means is you have your component tree, and you need to pass down that property one by one component until you have the component, he knows what to do in terms of that data. And sometimes the components, the intermediate components could use or not that property. And this is bad because you need always to remember all the components you pass in that data, and sometimes you increase the payload because of that, because you are receiving that data just to passing through. So every time when that information change, all the components tree depends on that property. It will change, and you will send that changes to the socket again. And here's an example for this graphic where you have LiveView, and I want to send this time zone property until the daytime component. This components know how to use it, this time zone. So imagine you have like a daytime information, and it's in UTC, and depends on the time zone the user. I want to update and show what that daytime in the user time zone properly. And I just need to pass in through all the components until reach the component. Here's the demo. I have this information on top, and if I select the time zone, it will update the time zone and update the daytime also, as you can see. And here, it's as I said in this claim, this is Surface. So Surface has this context to put in the socket, the time zone, and here is how I can use the declarative API to retrieve that information from the socket, from the context, the time zone. So I don't need to pass in from many components until I can use that information. So, but has some drawbacks. If that information, that piece of information, it's updated too much, it's things it's changed too much, it's not good, because you will increase your degradation in terms of that information. This is good when you like to use this piece of information for a change, like a theme for dark and light, or user information, like a time zone also. So it's a global state where you can put things there, and then you can use it to apply some changes what you need. And here's the graphic after. So I have this component tree, the LiveView, and the other components, and I just in LiveView I put in the time zone, and no matter what, how nested or deep that component, it's in the component tree, I could retrieve the context. Last, it's about scoped CSS. And about the scope CSS, it's a very hard topic, because sometimes you create some CSS rules for styling, and now you have this affecting when leaking some styling and to affect because of the specificities for the CSS. And you could have some conflicts. So if you have two buttons and one has more specificities for that, it will apply that instead of the one you're gonna need to apply in the button. So it could change, and the scope CSS prevent that. So it keep inside of your components. So imagine you have two components. It's a button, and you could use the same class, and this is not leaking outside of a component because of the scoped CSS. Here's a demo using LiveView where I have the stores. This is not using scoped CSS in LiveView, but just an example. And here's how we get the information change in the attributes and placing my style depends on the status is changed for the attribute. And here's the toast message using Surface. As you can see, is the same. Here's the same example using Surface. As you can see, it's very similar, right? But it's not using scoped CSS yet. And this is now it using this scope CSS. So basically, I use data attributes and assign the status, and I just set my classes. In Surface templates, you can create your styling inside of the style tag. One quick thing about this is the style is too big. It's not good. It's not readable. And you put in two things in the same place. You just, instead of check out of just only the HTML. And this last, I just moving this style to outside, so I need to keep in the same level in the files in the same folder, and I just using the same name, and the extension is changed. Instead of using AX, I just use CSS. And looking the DOM and the div, as you can see here, this on top of where I'm using LiveView and this two down. It's when I'm using scoped CSS with the surface. I just need to send a new status. So if it's changed for warning error, this is the only thing I send to the client. So these two modifiers. And here is how Surface use inject like a tag and keep it the styling just only the parent and the child with the same tag. And this is the other one, so this is preventing leaking some styling to one component to another. Thank you.